The arena was electric, a pulsating sea of cheering fans under the glow of stadium lights, the air thick with anticipation. Rain fell outside, a steady drizzle that added a cinematic sheen to the night, as if the heavens themselves knew something monumental was about to unfold. Oscar Valdez, the undefeated Mexican featherweight, strode toward the ring with a predator's focus, his eyes locked forward, gloved fists clenched. Across from him, Scott Quigg, the gritty brawler from the United Kingdom, carried the weight of his nation's pride, his face a mask of determination. This was no ordinary bout. It was a clash of styles, wills, and legacies of fight destined to etch itself into boxing lore. The bell for round one rang sharp, slicing through the crowd's roar. Valdez, known for his blistering speed and technical prowess, wasted no time. He darted forward, his feet a blur, snapping jabs that popped against Quigg's guard like gunfire. Quigg, stocky and resolute, absorbed the early shots, his head movement subtle but effective. He countered with a looping right hand, testing Valdez's chin. The Mexican slipped it, firing back a crisp left hook that drew a gasp from the crowd. The opening round was a chess match, each man probing, measuring, searching for an edge. Valdez's combinations were sharper, his footwork a touch more polished, but Quigg's durability was evident. He wasn't going anywhere. As the second round began, the rain outside intensified, a downpour that mirrored the escalating intensity in the ring. Valdez targeted Quigg's body, digging hooks to the ribs, each thud resonating through the arena. Quigg grimaced but pressed forward, his pressure relentless. He landed a sneaky uppercut that snapped Valdez's head back, a reminder of his own power. The crowd surged, sensing the fight's potential to explode. Valdez, unfazed, danced away, resetting with a jab that split Quigg's guard. The Brit's face was already reddening, but his eyes burned with defiance. Round 3 saw the first real fireworks. Quigg, perhaps sensing he needed to disrupt Valdez's rhythm, bull rushed forward, throwing a heavy right hand that caught Valdez on the temple. The Mexican wobbled for a split second, and the crowd held its breath. But Valdez's instincts kicked in. He fired back a 3-punch combination jab, cross, hook that sent Quigg's head rocking. The rain-soaked canvas glistened. Underfoot, adding a layer of danger as both fighters slipped slightly, their balance tested. The round ended with a furious exchange, Valdez's speed clashing with Quigg's raw power. Neither man willing to yield. By round 4, the fight's narrative was clear. Valdez's precision versus Quigg's heart. The Mexican's punches were surgical, targeting Quigg's body to sap his stamina. A vicious left hook to the liver made Quigg wince, his knees dipping slightly. But Quigg, a warrior forged in the tough gyms of Barry, refused to fold. He answered with a looping overhand, right that grazed Valdez's jaw, a shot that could have changed the fight's trajectory if it had landed flush. The crowd roared, split between chants of Mexico and Quigg. The atmosphere was electric, every punch a potential turning point. Round 5 brought a shift. Valdez, sensing Quigg's durability, doubled down on his body attack. His punches were like pistons, relentless and precise, targeting the ribs and solar plexus. Quigg's face contorted with each blow, but he kept coming, his pressure almost suffocating. He landed a solid right cross that forced Valdez to clinch, a rare moment of vulnerability for the Mexican. The referee broke them apart, and Valdez reset, his footwork keeping him just out of reach. The round ended with Quigg stalking forward, undeterred, his face now marked with swelling around his left eye. The 6th round was a grind. Quigg's pressure began to wear on Valdez, who found himself backed against the ropes more than he'd like. Quigg's hooks to the body were heavy, each one a statement of intent. Valdez countered with uppercuts, catching Quigg coming in, but the Brit's chin held firm. Blood trickled from Quigg's nose, a stark contrast against his pale skin, yet he smiled grimly, as if daring Valdez to hit him harder. The Mexican obliged, landing a 4-punch flurry that sent sweat spraying into the air. The bell rang, and both fighters nodded at each other, a silent acknowledgment of the war they were waging. As the fight crossed into the second half, the toll was visible. Valdez's hands were still quick, but his breathing was heavier, his movements a fraction slower. Quigg, battered but unbowed, kept his relentless pace. Round 7 saw a brutal exchange in the center of the ring, both men trading hooks like heavyweights. Valdez's precision gave him the edge, but Quigg's sheer will kept him in the fight. A cut opened above Quigg's right eye, blood mixing with the rain that had seeped into the ring. The referee glanced at the wound, but let the fight continue. The crowd was on its feet, sensing the fight's climax approaching. Round 8 was Valdez's masterpiece. He found his rhythm, weaving in and out, his punches snapping with the speed of a whip. A double jab followed by a right cross rocked Quigg, whose legs buckled for the first time. The Mexican pounced, unloading a combination that echoed through the arena. Quigg, somehow, stayed upright, his heart defying his body's limits. He fired back a desperate hook that caught Valdez off guard, but it lacked the power to turn the tide. The round ended with Valdez in control, his confidence soaring as the crowd chanted his name. The championship rounds loomed, and the fight's intensity reached fever pitch. In round 9, Quigg dug deep, channeling every ounce of his grit. He trapped Valdez on the ropes, unloading a barrage of body shots that forced the Mexican to cover up. Valdez's face showed strain, but his counterpunches were still sharp, a right uppercut splitting Quigg's guard. The Brit's face was a mess swollen, bloody, one eye nearly shut, but his spirit was unbroken. He pressed forward, refusing to let Valdez breathe. The bell rang, and the crowd roared, knowing they were witnessing something special. Round 10 was a testament to both men's resilience. Valdez, sensing victory, unleashed a torrent of punches, his hands a blur. A left hook to Quigg's jaw sent the Brit stumbling, but he caught himself on the ropes, refusing to fall. Quigg answered with a desperate combination, landing a solid left that made Valdez pause. The rain outside had slowed, but the storm in the ring raged on. Both fighters were exhausted, their punches carrying less snap, but no less heart. The round ended with a mutual stare, respect forged in the crucible of combat. The final rounds were a blur of willpower. Round 11 saw Valdez reassert his dominance, his footwork keeping him just out of Quigg's reach. He peppered the Brit with jabs, opening the cut above Quigg's eye further. Quigg, blood streaming down his face, kept coming, his hooks wild but dangerous. Valdez's counters were ruthless, a right cross nearly dropping Quigg. Yet the Brit stayed upright, his legs trembling but his resolve ironclad. The crowd was deafening. Every punch met with a surge of noise. In the 12th and final round, both fighters left everything in the ring. Valdez, knowing the fight was his to lose, fought with controlled fury, his combinations a symphony of speed and power. Quigg, battered and bloodied, swung with reckless abandon, landing a looping right that caught Valdez flush. The Mexican absorbed it, firing back a 6-punch flurry that brought the crowd to its feet. As the final bell rang, both men raised their arms, exhausted but proud. They embraced in the center of the ring, their respect mutual, their bond forged in battle. The decision was a formality. The judges' scorecards read unanimously for Valdez, his technical brilliance and relentless attack carrying the night. The Mexican raised his fists, the WBO featherweight title still his, the Mexican flag draped over his shoulders. Quigg, his face a swollen mask, nodded in acknowledgement, his effort heroic despite the loss. The crowd chanted for both men, recognizing the heart they'd shown Dot as the arena emptied. The rain outside stopped, leaving a quiet reverence in its wake. The fight was over, but its echoes would linger. Valdez had proven himself a star, his undefeated record intact, his future bright. Quigg, though defeated, had shown the world his unbreakable spirit, earning respect that transcended the scorecards. The night was a testament to boxing's essence, courage, skill, and the will to endure.